Can the SNP achieve in the general election? I'm joined now by the party's Westminster leader, Stephen Flynn. Good morning, Mr. Flynn.
Good morning, Sir Trevor. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. No titles necessary here, unless accompanied by a horse. Is it actually your position that if you win a majority of seats at Westminster in Scotland, you regard that as a mandate for another independence referendum?
Well, of course, what tends to happen in elections, as we all know, is that the party who wins an election is able to push through and push forward with its manifesto commitments. That's something that whoever becomes Prime Minister will seek to do, and in a Scottish context, that's what we would seek to do if we were to win the election here in Scotland. So, of course, that is very much the case. But this election is about so much more than just independence. It's about making sure that we have people in Westminster who put Scotland first, who make sure that we have policies to deal with the cost of living crisis, that we have policies in place to reject austerity, and that we have policies in place to protect our NHS and grow the economy. I'm afraid that the policies of the Labour Party and the Conservative Party fail Scotland in that regard. Their ambitions are too narrow. They don't want to talk about membership of the single market. They don't want to talk about the net zero gold rush that is coming. And of course, neither of them want to talk about the necessity for migration. Indeed, just yesterday, Keir Starmer echoed the sentiments of Rishi Sunak on that, despite the damage it would do to our NHS and despite the damage it would, of course, do to our wider economy.
Before we get onto that, can I just get you to define this word winning a little bit more closely? If you were to get a majority of Scottish Westminster seats, that might be 30, that means you'd have lost more than 20 of the seats you currently hold. How is that winning?
Because, of course, if you win the most seats at an election, then you have been given a democratic
It'd be a pretty
right
big slap in the face
your
if
policies.
you lost 20 seats.
But of course, you're seeking to preempt the election. I'm very confident that right across Scotland we will be in a position, a rightful position.
I'm not the one who's preempted it. You're the ones who've been saying that you'll take a position if you win a majority of the seats. I'm just asking you, how is that winning?
Indeed, but that's the basic premise of a democratic election. The party that wins the majority of seats therefore gets to put in place its manifesto. But I want to win seats right across Scotland. I want to make sure that we retain the seats that we have and to gain some seats. Seats like the Conservatives in Scotland, because it's the SNP who are best placed to beat the Conservatives in all the seats that they currently hold. So my ambitions are greater than simply winning a majority of seats in Scotland. I want to see us do exceptionally well. And I'm very confident that come the 4th of July, we'll be able to defy some of the critics' expectations in that regard.